We're in conversation this morning with talk show veteran Phil Donahue and his wife, actress Marlo Thomas. Subject, secrets of marriages that last.
Hi, you guys.
Hi, you all got your masks on, good.
Behind COVID face masks and bundled against a blustery April chill,
And it's freezing.
who'd recognize Marlo Thomas and Phil Donahue,
And since we've been locked up, I've given him haircuts.
but for his signature gray hair.
If I go bald, this marriage is over.
So far, so good. They celebrate their 40th anniversary this month.
What's the date of your wedding anniversary?
It's the 5th of May. May 5th.
You're
That-
so funny.
close,
You know
Marlo?
very well what it is. I'm born November 21st. He's born December 21st. And we specifically decided
Get married.
to be married on a 21. So 5/21.
Lucky 21.
If I hadn't been married on Flag Day, Garrett, neither one of us would ever know our wedding anniversary. To mark the occasion, they wrote a book about marriage, featuring 40 famous couples who stood the test of time, and many other tests along the way.
Having a sick kid, having a bad mother-in-law, losing all your money, addiction of all kinds, infidelity, any issue you can imagine that any marriage could face. In our book, they faced it.
So how would you guys begin typically?
We didn't start with a question, really. It was like a double date.
A double date that began with crackers and cheese and eventually got down to brass tacks.
We talked about how do you fight? How do you come back from a fight?
Some people are championship fighters. I'm thinking of Chip and Joanna Gaines, the fixer-upper couple.
The view from the
You're
outside.
just so smart.
Where'd you think I was going to put
There's
him at an
three
angle?
different places you could put them. You could put the hinge. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
They fought a lot in the beginning of their marriage because she's very cautious and he's crazy adventurer. But he said one time they were having an argument, and in the middle of the argument, she banged her hand down on a bucket of paint, and it spilled all over her. Just white paint was dripping from her face and her clothes. He said, but she didn't stop. She just kept screaming and yelling. He said he looked at her, he thought, you know what, I love this woman. She is so passionate.
Billy Crystal met Janice, his wife of 50 years, when he was 17.
He didn't even have a driver's license yet.
Right.
Why did he cling so ferociously to the teenage girl he fell in love with when he was a kid?
I think they really believed in each other. One of the things I was impressed with Janice and Billy and Arlene and Alan Alda, these are guys that had careers that were really going nowhere.
Billy Crystal was a substitute teacher. Alan Alda drove a cab.
But their wives believed in them. Their wives never said to them, as many wives might, when are you going to get a real job?
Would you kindly welcome Marlo Thomas? Stop.
Phil and Marlo's love affair began in 1977.
You are really fascinating.
No, but you are wonderful.
With
I
a
said it
TV
in your opening,
audience.
I want to say you are loving and generous, and you like women, and it's
There
a
were
pleasure. And
sparks.
whoever is the woman in your life is very lucky.
Well, thank you very much.
It really wasn't an interview.
I was really terrified of marriage. It's just a lame.
And he said to me, how come you've never married? I said, oh, I just don't believe it's for me. It seems like it's only a place for 1.5 persons, you know, the person that has the dream and the other person who supports the dream.
Where'd you get that idea?
Well, my parents, for one.
Her mother had given up a singing career to marry the star of TV's Danny Thomas Show.
What do you think I am, an idiot? And don't you answer that.
But within weeks, Marlo Thomas was a regular guest in the home of a single dad raising 4 boys in Winnetka, Illinois.
I think being single and independent was almost your brand.
No, I was never getting married.
Like the character she played in the hit TV series, That Girl, Marlo Thomas was pursuing a career, not a husband.
I was friendly with a couple who lived here before. Are you a couple? No, I'm a single.
I was trying to portray, for the first time on television, a young girl who wasn't thinking about getting married. She was thinking about who she could be in the world.
A revolutionary idea in 1966.
There were men in your life.
Oh, my.
But
Were there?
typically 2 at a time. How did you put that?
You know, one was always the really smart guy who I loved learning from, and the other one was the sexy guy with a little curl on his forehead. I never could put them together. I didn't think that it was possible to find a mate who would be so smart and be so exciting to my brain and also be exciting to my Hormones.
Yeah, I'm looking at Phil, and he's got a little curl there.
You got a little smile on your face?
Yeah.
Then you meet Phil Donahue, and Phil, you were, by the time you and Marlo meet, to use the modern lingo, a woke man. You were a feminist, at least your reputation. You were a daytime host who got it about women. Was that real?
Well, I had Gloria Steinem on my program very early, and all the feminists somehow seemed to sooner or later show up on the Donahue show. And we were thrilled with that because they were good guests, including...
I always say, I'm so lucky I married a man who saw the Donahue show every day.
And today, every day's the Donahue show at their house.
My first guest is the caller there?
Mr. Donahue, you have a package downstairs.
Oh, thank you.
They've posted some of their adventures on Instagram. And they're learning a lot. In the bunker, as they call it. Marlo's teaching Phil to make spaghetti sauce.
Garlic, stand by garlic. Coming up
Garlic. He's very good at chopping. Just a little bit around the ears.
Phil and Marlo at home alone and making a marriage that lasts.
What do you think, Mr. Donahue?
Just perfect.
I believe that marriage is a cushion of life, and it does help you get up and over whatever issue it is, and get through it to the other side. And every time you do that for each other, that braid of love and steel and trust just gets tighter and tighter so that somebody else can't break it.